Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shaunneka and today I'm going to guide you through a props-free Yin Yoga sequence. So you're not going to need blocks, bolsters, blankets, pillows. You don't even need your yoga mat. It is going to be a full body sequence and I will give you some cues and tips to help make the postures that we're doing accessible for your body. So yes, props are great, but you can also access these poses without props. So for our first posture, we will go ahead and lay down and we will take a reclined butterfly. So laying all the way down onto the mat, go ahead and bring the soles of the feet to touch and just allow the knees to drop open wide. You can bring your hands to your belly, out to the side. Taking nice deep breaths here. Really using these moments to ground yourself for today's practice. To really utilize the full capacity of your breath here. On every inhale, thinking about swelling up through the belly, expanding through the rib cage, and bringing the breath right up into the chest lifts. Exhale, chest, rib cage, and belly. So if you'd like to go just a little bit deeper for these last few breaths, what I like to do is I like to place my hands on my inner thighs. And I'm not pulling down, I'm just allowing the weight of my hands to gently rest. Thinking about the openings that are occurring. Let's go ahead and take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth and audible exhale. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently opening the eyes. You can bring your hands down by your side. Bend the knees, bringing the soles of the feet onto the floor. And you can very gently just move your hips from side to side. And we'll just roll onto one side and push ourselves up into a tabletop. So from tabletop position, we'll be coming into frog. So go ahead and open your knees as wide as is comfortable for you. And then go ahead and flex your toes. So your toes and your knees are pointing in the same direction. So you want to make sure that you're not tucking your tailbone under and then trying to come forward. You're sticking out your bum and then you're pushing back. Once you find that wall of tension, you can come down onto your forearms. So being very gentle here as the time passes, you'll notice that maybe your knees begin to open wider on their own. So you should feel a little bit of work in the forearms, but you should try and relax the inner thighs, noticing if you're gripping. What I like to do is I also like to take my thumbs and place it in between my eyebrows and let my forehead rest. I'm pushing down into my forearms to send my hips back. And every inhale, you can imagine every pore opening up. So feeling free to stay here for these last few breaths. If you'd like to go a little bit deeper, you can bring the chest all the way down to the mat. Or you can bring your forehead onto stacked palms, but again, thinking about sending the hips back. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And let it go. One more inhale. And sigh it out. Lifting the gaze from here, coming back up onto your forearms. You're just going to use your forearms as leverage to draw your belly and chest back onto the mat. You can leave your legs wide, stacking palm on palm once again and letting the forehead rest. You can always shimmy your hips from side to side. When you're ready, you can close the legs once again, maybe bending the knees and windshield wipering them from side to side. So from here, we will be making our way into Sphinx, bringing your forearms out in front of you. You want to bring your feet as wide as your mat. And thinking about everything below the waist is nice and relaxed. So you don't want to be squeezing your glutes. Everything is nice and soft. Lining your forearms, or your shoulders up with your elbows. So your elbows are in line with your shoulders. Fingers are spread nice and wide. And sometimes it helps to turn your palms to the top corners of your mat, if that helps. And then thinking about drawing the chest through and the shoulders away from the ears and down the back. So you should be feeling a slight compression in the low back here, but nothing painful. So if you are experiencing a pinching or any pain, then I invite you to maybe open your elbows wider. You can stack fist on fist and let the forehead rest. And that way you still have a slight arch in the back, but nothing too intense. Sometimes it feels good to stretch the neck and drop the head back. Without compromising the lift in the shoulder girdle. So if you'd like to go deeper for these last few breaths, if you didn't do it already, go ahead and turn your palms to the top corners of your mat. You're going to push your palms forward to lift your arms and to lift your arms up off of the mat. So again, no squeezing in the bum. Everything is nice and soft. Last few breaths here. Let's go ahead and take our last 2 breaths, thinking about bringing the breath right up under your armpits. So inhale in, open the mouth and sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Dropping to the forearms if you're on your palms. And again, stacking palm on palm and letting the forehead rest. From here, we will come into a shoulder neck stretch. So go ahead and goal post your right arm. Just making sure that your right elbow is a little bit higher than your right shoulder so that when we roll over, your elbow doesn't drop. Once you've found that position for yourself, bring your right temple to the floor, bend your left knee, and you're going to roll onto your right side, stacking knees on top of one another as if you were in a twist. And it's up to you. You can leave your left fingertips spidered in front of you, pushing away, or you can bring your left hand and bring your hand onto your low back. Also notice if you're scrunching your shoulder up by your ear, you're looking to draw that shoulder away from you. Last few breaths here. Let's go ahead and take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. If you had your left hand behind you, bring it back beside you, straighten the legs, and roll yourself back onto your belly. You can bring that right arm down beside you and just let the forehead rest on your left arm. Let's go ahead now and do the same thing on the other side. So cactusing your left arm beside you, keeping in mind that you want the left elbow just a little bit higher than the left shoulder. You're going to spider your right fingertips beside you. Bring your left temple to the mat. Bend your right knee and you're going to roll onto your side. So again, you can stay here pushing away with your right fingertips, or if you'd much rather, you can bring it up and around onto your low back. And again, just remembering not to scrunch your shoulder up by your ear. You're looking for space. So think about drawing that shoulder away from you and drawing the elbow away from you. Last few breaths here. Really making these your deepest breaths. Last 2 breaths here. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth and let it go. One more inhale. And exhale. So bring your arm from up behind you if it was there. Spider it beside you, straightening the legs, rolling all the way back onto your belly. Bringing your left arm down by your side and stacking your forehead on your right forearm. And from here, let's go ahead and make our way onto our backs. We will be taking reclined shoelace. cross your right knee over the left knee. Draw your knees now in towards your chest. Grab a hold of that right ankle with your left hand, and then go ahead and reach for your left ankle with your right hand. I know when I do this pose, especially some days are a lot tighter than others, and today is one of those days. I think about pushing my left knee into my right knee just so that it makes the load a little less heavy, if that makes sense. When I do that, I find a sense of lightness, and it also increases the intensity of the stretch in my outer right hip. So from here, we're going to transition right away into a twist. So release the grip from the ankles, and you're just going to twist the whole shape now over towards the left. You can cactus your right arm, gazing over that right arm. Coming into our last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Fill up. Open the mouth and sigh it out. One more inhale. And sigh it out. Bring the gaze back towards the ceiling. Uncrossing the knees and planting the feet back down onto the mat. We will set up for the other side. So planting the right foot now into the mat, cross the left knee over the right knee, drawing the knees back in towards the chest. Grab a hold of your left ankle with your right hand and grab a hold of your right ankle with your left hand. Again, thinking about making space between the ears and the shoulders. I know in this pose we have a tendency to shrug. Really just be cognizant of that. From here, we will be making our way into that twist. Release the grip from the feet and simply drop this shape all the way over to the right, and gazing over the left arm. Or you can keep the gaze towards the ceiling, up to you. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Open the mouth and sigh out. Last one, inhale. And exhale. Bring the gaze back towards the ceiling. Bringing the feet and the knees back to center. Go ahead from here. Extend your legs out wide, the length of your mat, arms out wide. Let's just readjust. So pushing the elbows into the mat, pick up the chest and push the back of the skull into the floor. Draw your shoulders away from the ears, almost as if you're kissing your shoulder blades together, and set them back down onto the mat. always, feeling free to stay here for as long as you'd like. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, and I will see you back here again soon. Have a wonderful day.